Hey mamas, welcome to the Mom on Point podcast. I'm Valen. I will be your host every Tuesday. This is a fun, safe space where we can discuss motherhood in all its complexity. This includes loss, friendship, mental health, wellness, parenting, marriage, and as a postpartum doula, the postpartum period, and also identities. Throughout our lives, and especially motherhood, we experience so many identity shifts and changes, and I think we need more conversations surrounding the hard stuff, the things that matter most. And some of those things are really uncomfortable and no one likes to talk about it, but I do. So download this episode, play it in the car while doing errands or just hanging out at home. And I hope you enjoy this episode. Let's dive in. Hey mamas, welcome back to the Mom on Point podcast. I'm so happy you're here. We are going to talk about how to start planning a joy-filled year. And I always like to say, even with grief or loss, because after you lose a baby or a parent or somebody really important to you, you carry it throughout your life. And from what I've learned so far is that it's with you always. So there's no getting rid of it. There's no hiding from it. So we're just going to let it come alongside us, and we're still going to be able to find joy. So my friend said the holiday season is a dichotomy of happiness and sadness. It's ironically so. We think it's supposed to be the most happiest and joyous thing, and we're always trying to make sure that our kids feel that way, at least, even if we're the ones who are stressed out, worried, just whatever we're feeling that's not on the happy spectrum. And it's okay to feel that way. Feeling that way is valid. You don't have to feel bad about that. You don't need to worry yourself or stress about that. Things that are hard are going to be hard, whether you worry about them or not. The worry does not take that away. It's always good to know that things are there, but don't live with that, right? If you understand what I'm saying. So I'd like to start the year off like with a plan. I do not do New Year's resolutions. I started doing kind of like a theme for myself. So last year was like my health, and I got off track a bit, would get back on track, get off track, get back on track. And that is human nature. That is normal. That is common. That's what a lot of us do. Sometimes when I stop something, I won't go back to it. But I've tried really hard to maintain on being better about my health. But this year, I haven't picked a word yet. Although if I do, I think it'll be intention, being intentional, having intentions, that type of thing. It's something that's coming up everywhere. Every podcast I listen to, books that I'm reading, intentionality is everything. And I'll explain that in a few minutes. So I'm just going to start with an easy plan, and I will give you examples on things you can do so that it's easy. I never want to tell you how to do something or tell you why you should do something, but not tell you how, or, not give you examples of easy ways to fit it within your life. So let's talk about intentions. So in the dictionary, an intention is a thing intended. It's an aim or a plan. And what intentions do is that it provides you with a focus to progress towards what you want to achieve. So in this case, we're talking about a joy-filled year, planning for a joy-filled year in 2023. And if we're not intentional about it, we're going to make a plan and the year's going to slip by. You have to be able to focus on what's ahead of you and in the here and now, of course, but it boosts your inner strength. It gives you, it's a tool. Intentions are talked about too a lot as a powerful tool because it also helps you manifest. You're manifesting that thing that you want, that joyful year. So much so, I don't know who knows this about me, but I am all about the woo, like manifestation and light and crystals and candles and just the world. Like there's such a magnetic and powerful force in this world, and it's amazing. So what I read too is that intention can change things at the molecular level because of the energy it carries. It's electric and magnetic. So you can imagine with the law of attraction and manifestation, if you are intending on doing something, if you are putting your intentions with it, it's going to happen if you stay there. So what I'm going to do, what I want to do, I should say, because I'm sure there's going to be days and weeks, maybe months that I don't do it, but I'm going to be intentional with every interaction experience that I can. So if I know something stressful is coming up and I don't want it to be that way, I'm going to think to myself, I'm not going to let this be stressful. I'm going to let it be easy. I am not going to argue. I'm not going to try to prove myself. Oops, sorry, I hit the mic. I'm going to set my intentions for that interaction. So when you wake up in the morning, you can set your intentions for the day. You just say, this is going to be a beautiful day. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to, read my personal development book. The kids and I are going to have a wonderful morning. There's not going to be any fighting. And you can't control kids in that way, but you can come with ease and love, and they'll follow because kids tend to work off our energy. So if you're stressed and you're yelling and you're running around, that's what they're going to do. So setting your intention. Set the intention for how you want your days to go. Set your intention for how you want school days to go. Set your intention for how you want summer of 2023 to go, what you want to do. But intention, I think, is the beginning of everything. So set your intentions for next year. Even if it's a birthday or a vacation, you can set the intent for it. And remember, it's not just, you're not going to do it just one time, because when that time comes, you're going to want to do it more and more. Okay. The next thing I have that you can do is removing negative energy from your life. Now, in the last episode, I kind of talked about friendships, and if they're not working for you, if they're making you feel bad, if they're draining your energy, it's time to release them or let them go. And as I also said, it's not always easy. It's not easy, actually, ever. But what I mean is, it's not just about people, okay? It's about things. It's about anything that drains you, anything that doesn't bring you joy. If you have an ugly ass dress in the back of your closet that you're saving, but every time you look at it, it makes you feel bad, get rid of it. If you have a gift from somebody who broke your heart and you're just keeping it because, I don't know, it's expensive or something, get rid of it or sell it. Make yourself some money and be happy. You gotta, again, setting the intention for what you want. If you allow negative things to be in your life, that's what's going to come to. So just think about that. Think about things that bother you. If you don't want to go to school anymore, if you want to change jobs, if you need to get that surgery, you've been having pain for years and you just kind of let it be because you're scared, or I don't know, just anything. Just think about how you want to handle those things, and it can really help. Another thing, is like living in the now. For me, that's always been hard. I still struggle with this. because I am working on my past, and my past takes a lot from me. When I think about it, it brings up feelings. It hurts me again. And I let it do that. It's like a loop. But I have to remind myself where I am in the moment. I'm never going to get these moments back. And thinking about something that happened years ago that has no merit on my life and isn't who I am anymore is a waste of your precious time. Seriously. And then worrying about the future, there's nothing you can do about the future right now. Now, you can set your intentions, you can try to manifest, you can use the law of attraction to help your future, but you need to be focused on your life now. That alone will bring you joy. That is how you find joy, especially after loss, especially when you're grieving. Thinking about the person you lost or the trauma you've gone through. Yes, you have to do that to heal, but you don't have to do it all the time. You can look at your child and find joy in their smile and their laughter and the fact that they're yours. Just because you went through something hard doesn't mean you cannot experience joy or love again or happiness. So just remember, focus on living in the now. Okay. One example I had, I have clothes from oh, I don't know. I've probably had them for between 5 and 8 years. And they're clothes I'm like, okay, when I lose this much weight, I'm going to wear this, blah, blah, blah. Those things, though, are from my past. And it's sitting there reminding me of my failure of losing the weight that I wanted, the failure of how I wanted to feel by now wearing those clothes. And I'm going to get rid of them. Like today or tomorrow, that is my goal because I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on being who I am now and loving who I am right now. That's what matters. So, another thing, buy a new pretty calendar and start planning ahead for like birthdays and celebrations. Things that you can look forward to. This is something I never started doing. So, really, life kind of felt joyless, because I never had anything planned. I never had vacations planned ahead of time. I never had anything to look forward to. So it was day by day, thinking about the past and not having things to look forward to, which is so depressing. So an example of something you can do if you've lost a baby. Every year we have a birthday party for Evelyn. We do something special. We donate money to Star Legacy Foundation. We try to do good deeds that day. Make a plan for your angel baby's birthday or a celebration of some sort. And even with your kids that are alive now, plan their birthdays. Have them pick a theme, have them set their intentions for how they want their birthday to be for real. And then they have that to look forward to. And so do you, because you're not going to worry then about what you're going to do, what you're not going to do. The next thing I want you to kind of think about is modeling what you want your kids to embody. So if we're planning for a joy-filled year, and we want our kids to learn to do that too, because we want them to know that they are their creator of their life. They get to choose how they feel every day. So they get to choose how they feel next year. But I had this conversation with a friend the other day because I'm like, I tell my kids to do something that I don't do. And, Callie will call me out on it and be like, you just set that on the counter. Are you supposed to put that in the sink? I'm like, shit. Yeah. Okay. You're right. That's just like a small example. That's not like emotional or mental thing to help them. But if you want your kids to have good hygiene, if you want your kids to have a certain mindset, you have to show them what that looks like. So if you can both go into the new year setting your intentions about how you want to act because you want your child to know what that's like, you want to give them a good start, model it. Take a shower, wash your hair, do all that stuff, put lotion on, take care of yourself. And then your child will learn too. It's super cool. Kids do what we do, not what we say, right? That's like the saying. Okay. So the next thing you can do is this one's this has a lot to it. I'm not going to get super in depth because it's already, into time, but a lot of it about this thing is everything that I've already talked about will help you do this. And that is creating your mindset. Believe it or not, the mindset that you have doesn't have to stay that way. You don't have to feel like shit every day. You don't have to be mad every day. You don't have to be unhappy every day. You can choose. Again, like I already said, you can choose how you feel every day. But a lot of us kind of just roll with the habits of our thoughts and our feelings. So, an example of creating our new mindset is becoming aware of your thought loops that harm you. I'm trying to think of an example of something that I do. Okay, so if something goes wrong for me, if like our furnace went out last week and it was unexpected, obviously, but my immediate thought when bad things like this happen is like, you should have known better. You suck. You're never going to figure this out. It's a loop. So when bad things happen, this is a loop that plays in my head. But when those things happen, when you can be aware of the loop, you can literally say out loud, stop. And then your brain will kind of like, stop. And it might start again. And then again, you say stop. If you don't want to say it out loud, you can just say it in your brain. But after you tell it to stop, I want you to add a positive thought loop. You will get through this. You know how to handle this. Life is full of unexpected things, and we always get through them. We have gotten through 100% of our worst days. You are a badass. You got to add that in there. So every time you're aware of this bad thought loop and you say stop, you add that in. And that's just like one small way to start creating your mindset. Intentions help. Removing negative energy from your life helps. Living in now helps. Planning ahead and modeling all helps your mindset. The next thing is practicing gratitude. And I feel like this is said all the time. And it's probably just burnt out in our brains as moms, be grateful. You should be grateful that you do this and have this or feel this way. Like, it's not that easy. Even for somebody who does practice gratitude, I won't do it for days or weeks too. Like, it's not easy. None of this stuff is easy, which I know. And that's why I'm trying to give you small little things you can do. I find on my worst days, I can find more things that I'm grateful for. Even if it's simple things. When you wake up in the morning, like I told you, and set your intention for the day, start writing down. Maybe have a journal next to your bed and just write down everything you're grateful for. Say out loud what you're grateful for, even if it's one thing. Start there. You don't have to have a huge list. You don't have to have 50 things. Like, even if all you can muster is, I am so grateful to be alive. I am so grateful that we have a home. I am so grateful for this fuzzy blanket. I am so thankful to be able to get my nails done. It doesn't have to be this amazing thing. It can just be simple things. You got to remember to keep it easy or you won't do it. I do have a journal and I've started journaling. I'm not consistent with it yet because I've only been doing it for a few weeks now, but it takes time and intent. So, another thing I have to start planning for a joy-filled year is to learn how to stop taking things personally. This is something I still struggle with, but I've gotten definitely better. We take how people react to us or what they say to us or how they treat us as a reflection of us when really it's a reflection of them. If you can stop taking these things personally, it will change everything. Your sense of self will blossom. Your self love and self confidence and self esteem will skyrocket. That and not caring so much what other people think, right? But stop taking it personally. You don't have to. You don't have to carry that. Okay. I know I'm not trying to like go down the list and like let it be boring and all that stuff, but I really want to help you guys. So the next thing is, although we're talking about planning a joy-filled year, don't fixate on planning at all. I know as a mom, I'm really bad at like, as I said last time, like I'm a perfectionist. It is even my human design, if you guys know what that is. I am a manifesting generator and I am always looking for perfection and idealism. And I know that's not real. Like, I know perfection is not a thing. I know ideal is perspective. So you don't have to have it all figured out. This is just meant to be fun. Even if the thing that you planned for your kid's birthday or your vacation gets canceled, or there's a hurricane that you can't help, or whatever it is, let it be easy and go with the flow. Again, you do not have to have it all figured out. Have fun with it. Another thing you can do is creating a simple morning or nighttime routine. And I think the last few things, well, I guess just this one. Another thing, kind of like gratitude, it's been talked about a lot. But again, I'm going to give you an example to make it so freaking easy. Do not make this hard. I promise it can be so simple. Just like I tell my postpartum parents when I'm there, I do not do sleep training, but I help them create a sleep time routine. And all that is a set of steps in order. Sometimes they won't be in order, but a set of things that you do in order before you go to bed. So for babies, that is giving them a bath, taking them into the room, turning the lights down low, putting their sound machine on, reading them a book, cuddling them a little bit, and then laying them down in their bed and saying, "Good night, baby," or "I love you," and repeating that every single night. As the baby gets older and the baby changes, that will change. You will change your routine. But as an adult, here's an example of what you can do for a morning routine. You can wake up in the morning, take 2 minutes just laying in bed. We all do this anyways, lay there and like wish that we didn't have to be awake. But set your intention for the day. Great. I want a great day today. I want it to be happy and joyous today. Great. Now, pick 2 things you're grateful for. I'm so grateful for this comfy bed. It's amazing. And I'm so grateful for electricity so that we can have heat and Netflix. Cool. Now, if you are a morning shower taker, jump in the shower, wash up, get out, get dressed, and go drink a glass of water. And that can be the end of it. It doesn't have to be extreme. It doesn't have to um, be, it just doesn't have to be extra, guys. It can just be super easy. But having a routine slash pattern to follow, we as humans, we are built to look for patterns and themes. So this helps us get through our day, but it also helps us become the person that we want to be and have the year and the days that we want. Easy nighttime routine. After you get your kids to bed, put your dogs away, etc. Go to your room. Maybe you brush out your hair. So I like to brush out my hair and I put conditioner in my ends since I have bleach blonde hair. And then I will use face wipes to wipe off any makeup, any dirt. And then you can brush your teeth, read a chapter in a book. Now, I will say they, as in we don't know who that is, but it is said that reading a personal development book before bed isn't the greatest thing because then you're thinking and your mind's going and you're trying to figure things out. So if you have a fictional book that you can read, if you like fantasy or sci-fi or like Jodi Picoult or Nora Roberts, that type of thing, read those types of books, but just read a chapter or less. Typically, I'll fall asleep, but that can be it. Brush your hair, wash your face, brush your teeth, grab a book, get into bed. If you want, you can grab tea, a glass of water. If you need to take your meds, if there's certain meds you got to take at night, do that. If you like to put lotion on, add that in. There's so many ways to make it easy, but that's another way to get your joy-filled year. It's about taking care of yourself as well as everybody else. Okay, and the other one I want to talk about is picking books for the next year to read. If you're not a big reader, you can get Audible. You can, I don't know what other apps are besides Audible, but do that. Or, I don't know, is there like, anyways, Audible, however you do it. I like real books. I like to have books. Oh, a Kindle or whatever, right? But pick like 5 to 10 books. And these are just numbers I'm making up. Like if you only pick one, that's okay. But at least you're doing it. But pick 5 to 10 books that you want to read for personal development and growth. When we are growing internally, there's so much happiness and joy to be felt in that. And I have found from the last, 9 years of reading personal development books every year, all year, it has definitely changed who I am. And another thing I want to say about books is if you find one that just speaks to you, buy it. Another thing you can do is just rent it from the library. That's what I do at first to see if I like it. If I can't find it at the library, I just buy it or borrow it. But if it speaks to you, buy it. Because these books are not meant to be read just one time. I think that's a mistake a lot of us make. These books are meant to be read during seasons that we need them. There are, there are 2 books that I read every single year. And those are books by Jen Sincero, How to Be a Badass. And then the other one's like How to Be a Badass and Making Money or something. But her words are always valid for me. And I always get like a kick in the ass from her, like to do it. It just makes me feel powerful. So I have a few books right here to like give you a head start. Besides the Jen Sincero books, which are amazing, I seriously highly recommend at least the You Are a Badass, okay? There's also the High Five Habit by Mel Robbins. If you don't know Mel Robbins, that is someone I highly recommend you follow. It's amazing. Another great book to read, I've only gotten halfway through this, but I love Ed Milet, is called The Power of One More, The Ultimate Guide to Happiness and Success. I watched, I think it was like a YouTube video or a live that he did, but he was talking about the story that this book centered around, which was about his father, and it was incredible. Um, it really is such a good book. I highly recommend it. Another one is called How Successful People Think. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. By John C. Maxwell. This is like a tiny little book, but the ideas are huge. And they're really actionable things that you can do every day to become a successful thinker. Another book is called A Happy Pocket Full of Money, Infinite Wealth and Abundance in the Here and Now by David Cameron Gikandi. I'm not probably butchering that last name, but it is like eye-opening. Okay, so I told you about this book is based on like physics of money. The scientific, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just so amazing. So using internal mantra to build wealth consciousness, practice conscious and deliberate thoughts and intentions, setting goals, practicing gratitude, etc. So some things that I've already talked about, but this is an incredible book. I highly recommend it as well. Another one is called Permission to Feel: The Power of Emotional Intelligence to Achieve Well-Being and Success by Mark Brackett, PhD. This one is all about emotional intelligence, our feelings and our thoughts, and how to use those things to be successful and be healthy and happy. This book gives me lots of feelings. I'm going through it right now. It's if you've gone through a lot of emotional turmoil in your life or trauma from parents, like this book will probably make you cry, but it is such a good book. Highly recommend. But those are just some of the ones I think are great. You can go on Amazon or Google and just type in personal development books. But that is where it's at. Like, pick some, read them for the year. You don't even need to do a book a month. Do one book every couple months. Sometimes I can't sit down and read a book for a couple months, and then the month after I can read like 3. So fit it in easily. It doesn't have to be stressful, okay? And let's see, we got 2 more, guys. 2 more. Another way to plan for a joy-filled year is planning to spend more time, not money, on your kids. There was a time after I lost Evelyn where I did not have the energy to parent very well. I spent tons of time with them, but I also bought them lots of things. 1, to make up for the fact that they lost their sister. 2, because it kept them occupied and allowed me to kind of veg out on the couch and just be with them while they played. And sometimes I feel shame about that because I always want to be the best mom. But they were happier when I'm just sitting there with them than they are after we buy a toy and that excitement fades after a few hours. I can't tell you how much it matters to your children. And it can be really hard for us to spend intentional time with our kids without being distracted by other things, by other life things, and our phones. Put your phone away. Even spending 10 minutes of just focused time with your kid will make all the difference in the world, I promise. And it'll make you happier too. You will feel so good about the interaction that you have with your kid because you were there. And the last thing I think is super important when it comes to planning a joy-filled year is picking a damn hobby. And this is something that I hate the word hobby. I hate when a therapist will tell you to, find a hobby. What the hell does that mean? Seriously. Finding something to waste time? Cool. I used to love crafting. Before I had Callie, oh my gosh, I spent a majority of my time when I wasn't a nanny at home watching Coraline, eating cookies, crafting while I was pregnant. It was glorious. Probably some of my favorite times in my entire life. Um, Something I've decided to do this year is to start painting. When I grew up, my grandma taught me how to draw. She taught me how to paint. She taught me how to use charcoal and pastels and shading. She was an artist. She was such an amazing artist. Um, but she taught me everything that she knew, and she did that while spending time with me. She would set the intention for what we were going to do. You're going to shade this apple. You're going to sit here until you're done. Like while she started dinner, but we were in the same room. But I forgot how much I loved painting. And it's not something I'm going to be doing for money. It's literally just for me. You need to find something for you that you can do. Michael's has this gorgeous watercolor palette that's glittery and shiny. So my plan is to buy that and just paint beautiful colors together to let my mind relax, to have something for me that's just for me. So if you like writing or drawing or coloring, buy yourself the stuff and do it. You don't have to show anybody. You don't have to be good at it. You can be frickin' terrible at it. And as long as it makes you happy, that is what matters. If it is, I don't know, something physical, like an exercise hobby, that's amazing. Not only will you have a hobby that's for you, but that physical exertion will make all your feel-good hormones come out and just make you feel so good. There's so many benefits, right? Find something you love that is for you, not for anybody else. And that will also make your year filled with joy. My thing is finding pockets of joy where you can. Life, it really annoys me when people think like happiness is this destination when it's really just a mood. If I do this, I'll be happy. If I become this, I'll be happy. If I lose 100 pounds, I'll be happy. But you're never going to be happy until you work on yourself, your internal self. And knowing that happiness is a mood and the fact that it comes and goes, and that's okay because it's an emotion like everything else, like anger and sadness and excitement and curiousness. Like, it's okay to feel happy and for it to go away. That is the human experience. If you think about it, we're not always going to be happy, but that doesn't mean you still can't find joy. It doesn't mean that you can't just be content. So I hope this helps. This is like the longest episode I've ever done. I hope you stuck with me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you try any of these things. Next year, maybe if I can schedule it, do like a planning session at the end of the year together would be so much fun. But I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Don't worry about not doing enough for your kids or your husband or your family. You are doing the best that you can. Let it be easy. Just give yourself grace. Okay, love you, moms. Have a good week. Bye. Thank you so much for joining me with the Mom on Point podcast. I hope you found some inspiration, some joy, maybe some new information that can help you heal, feel better, or just get through the day. If you've loved the podcast, please like and comment and let me know what you think. I read and respond to all comments personally, and it really helps others discover me who may need my message too. You can also find me on Instagram at ValenWeb. You can email me at info.valenweb@gmail.com. Again, that's info.valenwebb@gmail.com. Or you can check out my website where I have tons of free resources and freebies at valenweb.com. I look forward to hearing from you. I'll add all these things on the show notes. Feel free to check them out anytime. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Tuesday.